Help if you put the headset on. So, not gonna lie, went for a break there, checking up on the Ukraine situation, which is unbelievable. Thoughts go out to everybody over there tonight. Just gonna take another run, try and work out the kinks. I always forget to save telemetry data. Basically, I don't know how to do it, I've never looked up on it. To then review it and see where the real split settings can be found. But anyway, this is the fastest setup so far. Still a good second and a half behind Darren. Darren's one of the guys that races on the group page. Me, him and Robert Love seem to be quite competitive. Time wise, we've not done much competitive racing together. The odd time on a Friday I go on, and it's not too serious. Racing for fun, but obviously the hunger to win's still within everybody, within the group. It's a group for mature racers only. You need to be 35 or over, which I am not, so I don't actually race in the guys' leagues. I race in the kind of cool down races afterwards, but the non-serious format of it and the giggle you get with the guys is why I do it, basically. I missed their invitation last night as I had another friend for the group over. We just sat putting the wheels to right. We didn't even, I think we had 1 or 2 laps on this and that was it, which isn't like us. Again, absolutely critical, the timing here for your braking, which I still don't actually have a visual reference for. Engine temperature at 231. Again, that should drop down a bit now that we're travelling quite fast off power. Again, wide there. Need to get in more for the line. Again, pushing out on that apex. That's pretty solid. The time up the top here to be had is what I need. That and a bit more. It's looking promising at the moment. 1.3 up. I don't know if that's for my previous last or my overall fastest. I hope it's for the fastest. The line's all wrong there for some reason. Don't know why. We're now coming up to really difficult part. The open chicane. Thought the brakes felt good earlier until I got here. Obviously they're cooling all the time getting down here with the open vents, so timed that well. It was a bit slower. The line's off. Losing time through here most definitely, maybe not. We're still in the green, we need that to be white. If this takes me into the 31s, I will be ecstatic. I doubt it. This must be the last. Thought so. Need to try and get a look at these brakes and see why they're doing that. So it's not actually the brakes that are locking up, it's me going down the gears too fast. Which we'll have to correct. Telly's awfully bright for in game mode. So what, if anything, would change here? I reckon the brakes are absolutely bang on, I just need to be braver. I'm feared to touch the steering ratio in case I mess it up. The other thing I should mention is the league at the weekend with the guys, I believe it's all stable or loose setup, so setup choice is off. There's no edited setups that you can use, which is a bit of a nightmare for me with me being on the budget wheel. I need to adjust my wheel calibration to compensate for that. Basically, even in the shortest steering rack race car, it's still a full 1.5 ton to get round. No speaking for experience, maybe somebody can let me know, but I don't think that is the full extent of most modern day race cars. So I do like mine a bit tighter. One full revolution for the kind of length of the steering rack. That also doubles to add weight, because obviously the force feedback system isn't as technologically advanced as some of the guys' setups. Some of them are running Fanatec's and setups that just cost crazy amounts of money. I'm not jealous at all. To be fair, I was going to order a Fanatec CSL Elite for the PlayStation back, that'd be about a year ago now, it was probably last March. That was just when Brexit was coming into play, and the charges to get it imported, well, I don't actually know where it came from. Was it Germany, I think? They said, no, Switzerland, I think it was getting delivered for. Paid the money, waited on a delivery date, then get an email saying that it was going to be an extra £110 postage and packaging for something that was already well up there in price. I can't remember exactly now how much it was, but it was nearly £1,000 for the setup, I believe, with the load cell brake pedal and stuff. So I couldn't justify paying that and end up backing out. Then my Logitech G29 decided not to work. The famous trailing brake potentiometer, had to clean it every time I used it, which was an absolute nightmare. Not to strip down, but it was a headache. You had to do it. Strip it down, clean it with contact cleaner, build it up, go into a race. You find out that the brake's trailing 1 or 2%, race over. It really does make a massive difference. Ordered upgraded potentiometers, tried to fit them. The basically the way they'd been aligned, it's a kind of half circle, half moon shape. Like a key can only slot in one way. Built everything back up, and it turned out that where the potentiometer should have been at 0 input signal, they were sitting at 10%, so even at 0 throttle input, you'd be sitting at 10%. Only paid a couple of pounds from, so I wasn't too fussed. I got a good 3 or 4 years out of the Logitech G29, never really let me down, and it was a massive step up from a Logic 3 wheel that I got off Amazon for £3, which I used on the PlayStation 2 and 3 for many years, but this is night and day. I imagine that any wheel from going up for very bottom budget tier, taking a mid-range, and then your kind of really good stuff, your Fanatec's and that, they must make differences to your times. I've definitely seen a few guys transition from PlayStation to PC, such as Darren, and his times have massively improved. But on the time trials, I can keep up, depending on car and track. In the races afterwards, again, it's no fully competitive. I can keep up. I ended up winning a few last weekend. Finally starting to learn racecraft. I always find myself in a situation where I know I've made the decision on what to do, but I change my mind and don't follow through. That then creates uncertainty and what can look like behind you pretty erratic driving. If you make a decision, see a gap and go for it and then bottle it, it really does affect the people behind you as well. Losing the draft, especially if I'm off pace with 2 or 3 seconds. So, get some fuel for me. And we'll make a second attempt at this, see if there's any difference in the braking. Good thing with this, I can always go back and check what I've changed. It basically a record the previous settings. Whoa! Wake up, John. The wheel feels a lot better. Force feedback readings are all over the place. 81, I can never understand that. If anybody can work out this graph at the bottom for the force feedback as well, please drop me a message. I read into it. It's to prevent clutting, but still have the maximum weight in the wheel and the maximum detail as well. Project Cars do this thing where it's what you feel through the wheel is a fine balance of road surface and surface effects and tyre slip. That'll be the brakes heated up then. I feel like I've got a better sense of, well, none actually, they're both pretty dull. There's no, I mean, this should be a fight, and it really isn't. This is where the Logitech falls far behind, and on Gran Turismo as well, it is a smaller turning circle, if you like, so it does feel a bit heavier and there's a lot more detail, but I just feel like the input accuracy isn't there. There's, as you know, the wee bubble that looks like a spirit level in Gran Turismo for your steering angle. It is a bit like a spirit level in the sense that the bubble kind of moves with a slight either delay or I don't know, there's something about it, I don't like it. I prefer the setup the Project Cars have went, where you've got I don't know what you would call that, a graph, a table, and it shows you every input. My input is really quite low actually for what I'm doing, but I'm gonna see. So that could probably come down again, but again you find yourself in this predicament where it's either too pointy or it's no pointy enough. And I noticed as well, one of the guys I race with also likes a very short steering rack, shall we say. Basically he wants to turn the wheel the minimum amount to get to the full extension of the steering, and when you do that you can sometimes you turn the wheel just ever so slightly and it's as if you've turned it over far too much for the forward momentum of the car, and you start getting understeer. So that can be a problem as well. The brakes felt absolutely amazing there. I put all my faith in them there, if I'm honest. I don't know why my timer's not working. It does this sometimes. Either that or it's just to keep the element of surprise. I doubt that's I think that's just session fastest in the overall. Colour 82, we're getting a bit better now. Reached the limit of the steering, or reached the limit of grip there by no turning in enough and no turning in late enough, maybe later remote. I'm drifting off a wide here, I don't know if to again, bit of differential damage. Oh! We did say that. Do you know, I'm gonna go 20. Leave the tyres for now. Don't want to mess about too much and then end up miles off your previous time, and you can't figure out what you've changed in the setup, and aye. That was basically a load of waffling on without any detail. I apologise. Gonna take another break and we'll be back soon.